Suddenly, everyone wanted to have something to do with the golden tooth girl. They no longer saw her as a weird thing or a stranger, all because of one encounter. No one knew where Amara came from and no one knew who her parents were. She simply appeared in the village one rainy morning, wrapped in a cloth strangers didn't recognize, with eyes that looked far older than her age. The villagers used to whisper behind her back. Some of them said she was strange, and some even said she carried something unnatural. And maybe they were right, because Amara had one golden tooth. She was born with a single golden tooth at the right part of her upper set of teeth, and no one in the village had ever seen anything like it. It wasn't shiny like jewelry, but it glowed in a quiet way, with a warm light that appeared only when she turned her face at a certain angle. And although she tried to hide it, the world around her always seemed to notice. People trusted her instantly, even without knowing her. Strangers opened their doors to her without asking questions. Everyone felt calm in her presence, as if she had some invisible power over their fears. But Amara herself had no idea why. She didn't realize how different she truly was. However, things became even stranger as she grew older. There were days when she could talk her way out of situations that would have gotten anyone else in trouble. Angry people softened their voices around her. Market sellers lowered prices without understanding why. Even the village chief, known for his harsh judgment, always treated Amara with a gentle respect he didn't show anyone else. Animals reacted in ways that made the villagers uneasy. Even wild dogs wagged their tails around her like loyal pets. And whenever danger was near, that golden tooth gave off a faint glow, so faint you would think it was imagination. Although Amara saw and always felt it, she couldn't explain it, and she definitely didn't understand it. Everything changed the night she had the dream. A dream so real it felt like she was standing inside it. She saw an ancient woman dressed in old tribal garments, her eyes shining like the sun. The woman touched Amara's cheek and whispered words Amara had never heard before, in a language older than the village itself. It just felt like an incantation. When Amara woke up the next morning, her golden tooth felt warm, as if someone had just placed it there moments ago. From that day, the advantages became stronger and faster and clearer. People started choosing her for roles she never applied for. One day, a traveling merchant gave her a priceless necklace as a gift. The necklace had a big heart-shaped pendant that one could open just like a book. And the moment Amara opened it, it felt like a strange power dragged her away from reality into another fantasy world. And there, she saw people of the same golden tooth. They treated her like a princess and constantly muttered the words, "Welcome home." At that moment, it became clear that the old woman she saw in her dream had only activated her royalty in the people's world, which was her only way of getting home to the true people she belonged to. The fantasy world felt surreal. The ground beneath Amara's feet was warm, almost alive, pulsing with a heartbeat that matched her own. And for the first time in her entire existence, she felt like she belonged, something she had never truly felt in the human world. Here, nobody whispered behind her back. Instead, everyone around her kept welcoming her with thankful tears in their eyes. She kept wondering how she had lived her whole life believing she was unwanted, abandoned, and mysterious. Now, strangers were bowing to her, touching their hearts respectfully, and calling her titles she did not understand. Her confusion must have been visible, because suddenly, the same ancient woman Amara had seen in her dream stepped forward from among the crowd. She approached Amara slowly and placed a gentle hand on her cheek, explaining to Amara that her life started long before the human world found her. She also told her that she was hidden in the human world for protection because their enemies hunted the royal blood, and Amara was the last royal child alive. Hearing that, Amara froze, and her breath trembled, not minding that she was already getting scared. The ancient woman explained that when she was born, their kingdom still flourished. Her parents, the late king and queen, were strong and beloved, but the Shadow King rose against them. His hunger for power drove him to wipe out every royal bloodline, for he believed that without royal heirs, the kingdom would bow to him forever. Amara's chest burned when she heard how the rebel eliminated her parents and destroyed their kingdom. While Amara was still thinking about it, dark clouds rolled together like smoke gathering into one monstrous form. The cheers of welcome turned into murmurs of fear. All eyes lifted upward, and across the sky spread a massive shadow, stretching from one horizon to another. Inside the shadow, a towering silhouette appeared, shaped like a king sitting upon a throne of darkness. That was the Shadow King. With him in view, everything now smells like war. Seeing that trouble might arise soon, the ancient woman grabbed Amara's hand, saying, "You must be crowned the queen of the kingdom at once, because the Shadow King already knows your home and might attack us anytime." The golden crown was placed on Amara's head immediately, and while she sat on the throne, she was given the magnificent staff, a long golden rod that ended in a forked, trident-like shape, three sharp glowing points. This rod that carried the royal ancestors' power, and with it she could attack anyone that dares the kingdom. Amara took a deep breath, trembling, uncertain, but determined. She stepped forward and looked up at the dark sky. The shadows shifted, forming eyes that burned like red embers. Amara raised her staff. Her voice echoed with unexpected strength while she called out the Shadow King, demanding that he peacefully end the terror. But he wouldn't listen. He even mocked Amara by calling her a little girl who hid herself amongst mortals. At that moment, something inside Amara snapped, because this was her home and her people, and she would not watch them suffer any longer, all because of a rebel. She lifted the staff high. Golden lightning burst from its three glowing tips, striking the ground and forming a protective barrier around the kingdom. The Shadow King struck back with a wave of black fire. The two forces collided, shaking the land like an earthquake. Their battle began. For 7 days and 7 nights, Amara and the Shadow King clashed, like light against darkness. Her strength grew each day, while his power weakened with every strike she delivered. And finally, on the seventh night, Amara drove her staff directly into the heart of the Shadow King's smoky form. With that, a deafening scream shattered the sky and the shadow cracked apart, breaking into pieces like glass. The Shadow King was gone, forever. As the final echo faded, the clouds vanished and the sky returned to its brilliant golden glow. The entire kingdom erupted in celebration as people cheered and danced. Children ran freely. Women cried tears of relief. For the first time in 20 seasons, the kingdom was free. All because their long-lost royal blood, Queen Amara had saved them with her return. And now, under her reign, peace finally belonged to them again.